For the last decade or so, the UK government has been trying to push people towards electric cars as part of its drive to make Britain net zero by 2050. The result is the electric vehicle mandate, which aims to jumpstart the electric car market by specifying that a certain percentage of new car sales every year must be pure electric. Each year that percentage ticks up until finally in 2035, 100% of new cars sold must be electric. In some circles this has provoked outrage, with claims that electric cars are soulless appliances, that they don't travel far enough on a charge, and that they're too expensive.
They are just.
And if you look at the state of the EV market today, it seems that people aren't jumping over to EVs in the required numbers. 2024 was the first year of the EV mandate, which specified that 22% of new cars sold had to be fully electric. Figures just released show that this target was missed slightly. 19.6% of new cars sold were electric, so 2.4% short. And this is despite manufacturers using every trick in the book to boost sales, from discounting EVs by an average of £11,000 per car in December to withholding petrol car stock. And given these targets are only going to get more ambitious, it seems that EVs have a mountain to climb. Part of the problem is that the market is running out of early adopters. You know, the type of people who bought the first iPhone before it even had 3G, or digital cameras when the pictures look like this. For any product to jump from early adopters to the mainstream can be a long, hard slog. But I think EVs are going to get there, and not just through government pressure. And here's why. First, they will become more affordable. Partly this is due to the influence of Britain's company car buyers. Due to the government allowing limited companies to deduct the cost of electric car purchases from their profits, business brought loads of electric cars and then flooded the market with used examples. And now prices are crashing. This is bad news if you bought a new EV, but it's good news if you haven't and you want one. And chances are, if you're buying a car, you're buying a used car anyway. In 2024, nearly 80% of car purchases were used, not new. Perhaps people who buy new cars should earn a place on the New Year's honours list for their philanthropy in taking the hit for the rest of us. Also driving prices down is China. With heavy government backing, China massively overproduced electric cars and is now effectively dumping them on the British, European and American markets. This is potentially bad news for domestic manufacturers, but good news for car buyers. And if you don't mind driving something with a potentially interesting name, then there could be one here for you. And if you want a more recognised brand, then I have news. Many electric Lotuses, Volvos and MGs are Chinese now anyway. The second reason I think you'll end up in an electric car is that for most of you, they are probably better than what you drive now. In a magazine article written by a certain Charles Rolls, 4 years before he started collaborating with a certain Henry Royce, Rolls said, "The electric car is perfectly noiseless and clean. There is no smell or vibration. They should become very useful when fixed charging stations can be arranged." It would be over a century before Rolls-Royce made its first electric car. But Charles Rolls's original point stands. Most of you aren't driving around in Ford Mustangs with burbling V8s or Porsche 911s with charismatic flat sixes. Chances are your car has a very boring engine, droning away and not adding to the experience at all. Switch to an EV and your affordable hatchback can essentially have Rolls-Royce levels of refinement. The third reason is that EVs are getting better and the charging network is improving too. Remember when an electric car meant something like this embarrassment for all concerned? Well, not anymore. Today there is the biggest selection of electric vehicles on sale in Britain ever. Some 132 models, from big SUVs and luxury saloons, through to affordable but pretty hatchbacks, and even a convertible with scissor hinge doors for good measure. The technology is also improving. Back in 2011, an EV like the Nissan Leaf had a range of about 80 to 100 miles. Fast forward to today, and most EVs at least treble that amount. while Mercedes has tested a concept car with a real-world range of more than 620 miles, achieved through a combination of slippery aerodynamics, an efficient electric motor, an energy-dense battery, and better software. Mercedes has said that these improvements will filter down to its production models. When it comes to the charge network, around 65% of UK households have access to off-road parking, meaning you can charge overnight at home. You effectively live in a petrol station. While last year the number of charge points rose faster than the number of EVs, meaning there are more to go around. There are, however, some things the government could potentially do to encourage more people to buy EVs. One would be to take the politics out of the equation. The cut-off date for combustion car sales has moved around under successive prime ministers and looks likely to move again. This is a distraction and undermines confidence in both manufacturers and consumers. The reason you should buy anything, including an EV, is that you want to buy one. My argument is that sooner or later you will want to. The second thing the government should do is encourage manufacturers to offer the gateway drug to EV ownership, the plug-in hybrid. With their combination of electric drive with a petrol engine backup, hybrids are a great way for people to sample the benefits of electric cars while retaining the security of a petrol engine. And then by having two cars in one, you could really see the benefits of an EV. Because really, combustion engines are a ridiculously complicated way to spin a couple of wheels. We've known that since the beginning. And as for their electric alternative, well, the idea that
They are just
probably isn't going to age very well.